Hello and welcome, my name is Martin and today I would like to share with you my new best template for attack early in the war, but you can use this as late as 1940, 1941. I used this template to defeat Germany many times and it's really cheap to produce. The main advantage of this unit is not only that it's cheap, but also has the best performance in forest and harsh terrain. As you can see, they are hitting with more than 700, 750, and we are attacking on forest. We have attack on forest here, and we are going to check just for clarification on planes. On planes we are doing more than 1000 damage, but the problem is that early in the war you have just two options, trucks or horses, and horses perform much better and move much faster in this kind of terrain, harsh terrain. So now I prefer to use this template. It's also cheaper. Also, if you use the cavalry commander, it goes up from 740, that it will be an average points of attack, to 790, so it's 50 extra points. You get the cavalry commander here. I added the cavalry commander here, but you don't have them always, so I started the test without this guy. And also I added this other one spirit that also gives you a +5 bonus on attack. That of course all those bonus helps a lot during river crossing. Before proceeding with the template, I would like to share with you my inspiration. This template was based on the Winged Hussar. The Winged Hussar were an elite Polish cavalry that saved the day against the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was sieging Vienna, the capital of Austria, a second time, and they had a huge army, and the Polish king came riding down the hill with the Winged Hussars and destroyed the Ottoman Empire and saved Austria. The combined forces won that very important battle in history that prevented the Ottoman Empire from keeping expanding in Europe. And I also recommend you maybe want to check this movie. This movie is on the description, and also the musical video is from Sabaton. Sabaton is a Swedish band that provides also music for Hearts of Iron. They use those wings behind their backs. They were famous for that, and they do war music. It's quite powerful. I like them, and they have very nice videos. They're based on several movies, and they talk about epic moments like this. I strongly recommend. I am also going to leave you the description the link for this video and the channel. So let's start with the template itself. I have a new test in the snow. I have a weather penalty, but as you can see, the horses still perform much better than the trucks. 800 damage. We are using the commander ability in this case. If not, the attack will be 600, but it's still good for the snow. Imagine the situation of using trucks here. They will be doing damage like 100, no way to advance. So again, how this works. First, you start by sending to Spain your small template with the horses, and you train them to elite level, and you keep adding the tanks. First you start by adding 1 tank, then 2 tanks, 3 tanks, and as you fill the combat width of 40, but I defeated Sherman using, I think that was using 4 tanks. Now I keep adding as I get more tanks. I had the tanks, but I prefer to use my tanks on defense. And you keep adding company as you get them. The most important companies are the engineer, and this one is super important, the flamer tank, and also the recon company are the 3 that you must have. But it's good to have the maintenance company and the hospital company. That saves you some experience loss when you losing some men. You keep the experience, and I add 2 anti-air. You can add 3 anti-air. I call this bomber trap because the unit that will gather the most enemy air attacks is the unit under combat, and this unit is going to be always under combat, so don't waste a company space here for anti-air and use battalions that are 3 times bigger and powerful, and use 2. I also will recommend to use 3 if you have the anti-air and you are going to be decimating the air defenses very fast because they will concentrate on attacking this unit. You can use this number of horses, or you can take 1 horse out and add 1 more tank to be even more powerful. You can balance this. I usually start with lots of horses and few tanks, and as I get richer I remove some horses, and add more tanks. But this also, you should check this icon so they get the best weapons as soon as possible. And as you can see, thanks to the cavalry and the flamer tank, you will get a lot of bonus in forest and harsh terrains. You can check them here. And what about the tank design? Well, I would love to use a light tank for the recon, but I don't have the resources, so I use a standard truck that provides a little bit more breakthrough. And the tanks design, we are going to see them. I start using a basic tank design just to feel the in Spain I need to train the troops, so I use the most cheapest tank possible of medium size. I just create an empty tank of medium size and send them there, and then I change the template. I use the first template was the shower 1. I use a close gun support, that is a small weapon that does a lot of damage. It's the best one early in the war. And later I change this weapon to a medium howitzer. You find this in medium armaments. Medium howitzer is the best weapon when you have it. I try to develop it a little bit early in 38, and this was my cheap basic template to fill the role. And I use the basic wielding, the cheapest one, because I'm going to put a lot of tanks, so I don't need extra armor. I use this for extra speed, and later when you have the resources you change to shower 2 or shower 3. And this one has the medium howitzer, the turret with 3 men, also the best radio that you can put it, also this best improvement for ammunition that will improve your reliability, and also these fuel trucks are very important because it will allow the unit to enter the enemy line a lot, very deep into enemy territory, and thanks to the horses and no trucks, you will have no fuel problems and the tanks will be from there forever. And in the last slot you can put whatever you want. Also I use this type of engine, this engine that has more reliability, this one for speed and the cheapest wielding, and in this case I added 11 speed and 6 armor, but you can play with this as long as you keep the speed above 6.4. Try to keep it in 6.4, 6.5, that is the speed of the horses. I almost forgot, for flamer tank I use an interwar light tank that is the cheapest, it's only 2.8, and I give this flame tank to all my units, even the defensive infantry units. I give this tank, I mass produce, it's super cheap, and since it's a company you need just a few tanks in the company. I think that 13, not sure, let me check right now. Let's see one, we are going to click one and let's see the flamer, how many flamers. Like flamer, only 15 tanks, and they give you great bonus on soft attack. And as you can see, the maintenance company allows me to capture tanks from the enemy, 7 panzers, it's okay, and I provide the maintenance company to all my infantry, so I feed myself from the enemy arm, from the enemy weapons. And also, if you are new to the channel, I strongly recommend the playlist of Crusader King. It has very advanced tips, and the playlist of Hearts of Iron. This channel, Paradoxian, has mixed content in English and Spanish, but I'm going to create, it's already created, a new channel that's going to be only in English. It's called TinoDubois English. I leave that in the description. Thanks.